Hi guys, welcome to another Learning Electronics repair video. This is a job that came in to the workshop. Apparently somebody used it for playing games on and it sometimes doesn't power up, or so that's what they say. It's been in the workshop before, but a long time ago, and I don't honestly recall what the problem was or if it was after I started this channel. It probably was. This may be on some old video way back when. Anyway, it's been gone out for a year or more and it's got a problem. I don't remember anything much about it, so I think the first thing we'll do is I'll just, before I switch it on, I'll look for some shorts on the 12 volt rail because I've no idea of the condition of this. Let's have a look. Oops. I've ordered some more test leads. All my good ones have broken due to the amount of work I've been doing, basically, and it'll take a little while for new ones to arrive on the resistance range. So what have we got on the 12 volts? So that's the yellow wires down here, and we're just going to check to ground. I'll find the ground somewhere. Well, there's no short there, that's for sure. Yeah, there's no shorts there, so I think we can power it up, and let's see what it's actually doing. Put some power on it, switch it on, hit the power switch, and it powers up, and it goes off again. Yeah, you see it. Oh no, it powered on again. Oh, okay. Is it doing this thing where the BIOS resets 3 times? No, I don't think it is. Okay, it's powering on and off. So, a number of possibilities here. I mean, it could be a problem with the power supply, it could be a problem with the motherboard or something plugged into it, I guess. I think the best bet is what I would normally do with this. You just get the motherboard out on the bench, then we can get to everything we need to get to. We can try other power supplies and we'll see if it works. Actually, just before I do take it out, which I'll probably end up having to do, I've left the power supply connected. I've disconnected the hard drives, all the USBs. I've taken the graphics card out. This has onboard graphics anyway, so we can test it with that. The GPU looks like it's a 1060 or something like that. Yeah, looks like it's a GTX 1060. So again, we'll put the power on this. And let's see if we can start it now. I've disconnected the reset switch and everything, just the power switch is on now. Let's see what it does. Yeah, same thing. So power's on, you can see the lights come on, and power's off. So all we have left really is the motherboard with the processor and RAM, and we have the power supply. So there's nothing much else we can really say. I mean, we can disconnect the external USBs as well, just to be sure, even though I know there's nothing actually wrong with them. My test ones, but hey, you know, let's not cut corners. So again, we'll just try to power it up. And again, it made no difference, so that isn't anything to do with it. Now let's take the motherboard out. Okay, so I have it. You can see it's very dusty, very dirty. Whether that's anything to do with the problem, well, I guess we'll find out. Yeah, but certainly quite a lot of dust in this, but this is very normal for here. Okay, so one thing I didn't check previously was the Cmos battery. Let's have a look to see if that's okay. Yeah, I mean, it's over 3 volts, so it's okay. So that's looking good. I'll get a known good power supply now. That'll be the next thing to test to see if that works. I'm just looking how this is bolted on. Yeah, I mean, it's bolted on, yeah. It looks a bit bent, but it's bolted on. It's not going to come loose. Okay, let's get another power supply. So I have it mostly ready to go. I don't have a monitor plugged in at the moment. Just going to connect a little bleeper onto it. I'm not sure if it has one on board. We'll connect a little switch so we can easily turn it on and off. We'll put the power on. So I'm using one of my known good power supplies, another 750 watt. I have several that I use test power supplies. This is one of them. Yeah, we're plugged in. Let's see what it does now. Well, specifically, it doesn't seem to do anything. Oh, okay. It comes on and goes off. Just give it a few times to see if it is a problem with the BIOS. No, it's just kicking on and off. It's not doing anything yet. Has a problem. We'll take the RAM out. I've just switched it off on the power supply, so it should go off and stay off now. Yeah, okay. So these are very stiff. I'm guessing this is DDR4. It's a H110M Gaming motherboard. In my experience, H11Ms are very prone to having faulty PCH, and the RAM is in so stiff I can't even get it out, and I might not even get it out because of the heatsink practically in the way of it. Yeah, this is not good. It looks like either this clip doesn't move back or it's broken off on this end. Can you see it there? So it's preventing me from getting the RAM out easily. Yeah, I'm not sure if this one should actually clip back or not. There was some, yeah, I think this type of slot, as this one doesn't actually clip back, it just stays in place. I've never really understood that design or the point of it. Let's see if we can get the RAM out without taking the heatsink off. It might not be easy. Yeah, I'll probably end up taking the heatsink off to do it, which is going to be a pain because I've got to take the fan off the heatsink. There we are. But I have them out. Yeah, I have them out. Let's see if it will bleep without any RAM fitted. Let's see what it does. Wow, it bleeps. So it looks like the motherboard isn't dead. It's quite possible the RAM, or rather the RAM slots, have the problem with this. This is two 8 gig strips, around 16 gig of whatever it is. I don't remember if the H110 was DDR3 or DDR4, to be honest, and I can't particularly easily see from the label. Oh, it's DDR4. Anyway, it tells us if it actually, you probably can't see it. Yeah, maybe they're DDR4. Yeah, so it is DDR4. So the first thing I'll do with this is try and clean the RAM slots with isopropyl. I'll try and do it with the heatsink on, but I may end up taking it off to get in there, which is a bit of a pain in the butt if I have to, but you know, needs must, as they say. Yeah, needs must. Let's see if we can just fix this by cleaning all the dust out of the RAM slots. Bit of luck if we could. Makes it not such a bad job. Okay, I have my stiff paintbrush. This one. So stiff, coarse. Some isopropyl alcohol. Let's see if we can do anything with these. I mean, sometimes it just doesn't have to be so difficult, you know. Sometimes this sort of repair is not so difficult. And obviously, sometimes it is, yeah. Sometimes it is. Okay, let's see if that's got all the crap out of these. Okay, and then I'll just do the same with these. I mean, you can clean them with like a rubber on the end of a pencil, and by that I mean a razor, not a birth control device. Yeah. which for some reason these days seem to think is very funny. So I'll just try the same sort of little trick without using the rubber. Yeah, and I'll just try a bit of ISO and just see if I can clean the contacts. Yeah, you see there's a bit of dirt coming off them. Okay, and same with the other one. Now this is where I would normally repeatedly insert and remove the DIMMs in both slots about 4 or 5 times. But it might be difficult to get on this board to do it. Let's see if we can. So the furthest in slot first. Okay, doesn't go that way. Goes this way. And let's see if we can actually do it. And you know what? I think if I take the... Can I get the fan off the heatsink? Yeah, just... Yeah. Okay, let's make life a bit easier for ourselves. So we don't need to unbolt the heatsink. Let's get rid of that, yeah? You're probably shouting at the screen before telling me to do that. And I've just thought about it. Yeah, I must have heard you guys, yeah? I must have heard you shouting because I've just done that. Still got a lot of dust off this. Yeah, at least we can actually get at it now. But I can see into the slots now as well. Let's see if we can do this. Well, it doesn't go in and out easily, but this type of slot never really do. They fit in easy enough. It's just when you come to lift them, this end tends to stick, I notice. Okay, oh, that went nice and positively. Yeah, let's give it another go. Okay. That went with a nice clunk. I'll take this one back out while I just do the other slot as well. Just makes life a little bit easier. So we'll try and reseat this one. Yeah. Okay, nice and positive. Okay, let's see if we can get them in now. 1, 2. Clean the bench under it. Right, let's see if that wants to power on. Well, I don't have the fan attached, so let's just put the fan on. I'll just switch the power back off again. In fact, while I'm at it, can you see the state of that thing? Doesn't surprise me here. Let's just clean all this out. Most of this will be airborne dust, Saharan sand. It blows straight over to us once we have these Kalima winds, as they're called. Hot, dusty weather. Sometimes it's just dusty, sometimes it's just hot, and sometimes it's hot and dusty. Give this a good clean. Political question of the day, because you know I like to talk about stuff, yeah. So this one came across actually. I was just watching the news. I just did a bit of googling to see my native UK if their cost of living crisis and high inflation has been repeated across the EU. And what I did read was that Portugal and Spain have removed the VAT on energy, yeah, which is why my bill at the house went down by about 10%, from like 50 to 45 euros a couple of months ago. That's what it's about every month for me, and that's why. And then they also noted that Boris Johnson, during the Brexit campaign, said that if we leave the EU, we can remove the VAT on fuel, yeah, on heating, energy. and then refuse to do it. But that doesn't quite explain why Spain, which as far as I've noticed is still in the EU, can do it without leaving the EU first. So what's that one about, guys? What is that one about? Just another educational thing I noticed about my ex-country that makes me wonder. Makes me wonder. Anyway, since we've now set the worlds to right, and I know why my fuel bill went down a couple of months ago, let's see if this works. So we have the fan back on. We have no bleeps, but it isn't switching off. Interesting, I thought I would get a bleep out of it at least. Ah, and there we go. I have some bleeping, which is probably telling me. Oh, it might be telling me there's a problem with the RAM. It might be telling me that there's a problem with no monitor attached. Let me attach my monitor onto the internal VGA connector. Okay, so I've connected the VGA monitor. It's powered on once, did the bleeps and switched off again, but I forgot to hit record. Let's try it now. So it's powering on again. That looks a bit bent, by the way. Capacitor over there by the where the graphics card goes in must have been hitting that, I'm thinking. I mean, it's possible this motherboard is setting the BIOS to use the PCI, or rather the internal graphics are disabled, shall I say. So it might be that the internal graphics are disabled in the CPU. So the next thing I will try is to put the graphics card back in and see whether it then does anything. So it's doing the bleeps, but I'm not getting any signal on the monitor. Yeah, it's not giving me any sort of picture. The blue light's not coming on, and I'm sure I am set to VGA input. Yeah, I'll show you if it works. Okay, so this is not going to work, is it, by the looks of it? But it's not doing the same thing originally. Originally, if you remember, it was powering on and off on a very fast cycle, whereas now it's actually doing it much slower. That's not overly hot, that's the PCH, obviously it gets a bit warm. Okay, so that's not getting us anywhere. Let's see if we can put the GPU back in. So we switched off on the power supply. Let's pop this in here. I'll find something to just wedge under the end of it like that. Keep it balanced up so the GPU doesn't fall back out. And I'll attach a HDMI cable. Take this one off. Even that's bloody hard to get off. A lot of dirt in this. I may end up having to take this motherboard and put it in the sink. Let's see if we can get the HDMI. Okay, I've connected the HDMI. There's 3 HDMI slots on this. I've just connected into the top one. I'm not sure this is going to make a difference, and it certainly won't make a difference if I don't attach the power to the GPU. Yeah. There. I mean, when I say it won't make a difference, it could make a difference, but not a positive one. Yeah. So let's put some power on this, which goes this way around by the looks of it. Yeah, there we are. Let's make sure the GPU is still balanced in. I probably should find a slightly better way to do it than putting that underneath it. A motherboard box, that's the best bet. Then at least we can have it sitting flat. Okay. And it's still almost in focus as well. I think that's good enough. Okay. So the GPU is in, power is on. What's it do now? Well, I don't have anything on the monitor yet, but I'm set to VGA. I mean, it could possibly just auto switch over. No, we still have this bleeping. So I think I might still have some problem with the RAM slots on this. Yeah, I'm just getting the blue light on the monitor and HDMI no signal. Let's try cleaning the RAM slots again. If that doesn't help, let's get this motherboard in the sink and see if that fixes it. Of course, there's another possibility we should eliminate, and that's to try it with some known good RAM, and also to try it with RAM adjusting one slot. So I have some known good RAM here, different brand to what's in there. Mine are also, I think, 2 8GB strips. Yeah, they are. We'll put the VGA back on. So let's try it with one slot first and then the other slot and see if that gets us any further with this. Okay, power on. Actually, the DDR4 isn't seated properly, I can see that. Let's just seat this one properly. So we have the one strip. Okay, that's seated now. What's it do with one of them? Okay, same problem. So I think just discharge the power supply. Try the other one, and then we'll try it in the other slot as well. I also have another compatible CPU if there's possibly a faulty CPU on here, although that's really rather unusual. Yep, no difference. How about put it in the other slot? Okay. Came on that time actually without me pressing the button. And this time it didn't boot and didn't bleep. Switch it off again. Okay. Oh, that's interesting. So since I put the RAM in this slot on its own, it's now powering up without me pressing the button. Let's just wait for it to go off again. Make sure it's drained the power supply. Let's go back with this one. So just in this slot. Didn't power on its own this time. Ah, and now it's going to work. I have a picture on the screen. Okay, so it looks like we possibly have one faulty strip of RAM, or we have some problem with the RAM slots. I've put the other strip of RAM in this slot, yeah, and it bleeped once. You just heard it bleep once again. That means I get a picture, so I'm getting to the BIOS screen. It's, well, yeah, it gives me a bit of information about the RAM being at 2400 megahertz. Okay, so it does want to boot up. Let's load the BIOS defaults while we're here. So we'll just get onto the screen where you can see it. Bit of glare on there, I know. Let's see if I can just load the BIOS defaults, because I don't really know what it's set to. Let's see if we have an option. Is it in here to load the defaults? Yeah, load optimized defaults. Okay, yes. Okay, and now we should just exit that. And then let's try it again, and let's also try it with just the one strip of RAM in the other slot, and then if that works, let's try it again with the two. So again, we got the bleep, so it's going to boot. Yeah. Now I'll just try the RAM in the other slot again. Switch that off. So I've had both strips of RAM in this slot and they both work. Let's go for this one. Yeah, we've got a problem with the RAM slots, I think. We have a problem with the RAM slot. Just switch the power off on the power supply. Go back to this one. Okay. See, this time it's switched on by itself. It has a habit of doing this sometimes. I'm pressing the power button when I have the power supply switched off. See, it's doing it again. I don't know why it's doing that, what the difference is. Quite often, if the Cmos battery is flat, they'll switch on their own without pressing the button. So this one's doing it again. Let's see if it actually starts up. Well, no, actually switched off and switched on again by itself. And we're now back to the rapid powering on and off, yeah? That was the original problem. So there's obviously something flaky because this is back in this slot. I'm going to try cleaning the RAM slots again. And if that doesn't work, I'm going to take the CPU out, get the motherboard, put it in the sink, dry it all out, and then put it all back together and see if that solves it. Interestingly, the customer did say the fault was intermittent, and we've kind of proved that to a fair extent ourselves actually. It's just good I've managed to actually reproduce the problem. So once again, we'll just try and clean the RAM slots, and if this doesn't get it working reliably on both slots, it's going for a bath. Yeah, the whole thing is going for a bath. It'll evaporate fairly quick, so it's not a problem. And while I've got it in there, let's repeatedly insert the DIMMs. Okay. Okay guys, that's clean. Let's give it another go. And I might as well try my RAM actually as well afterwards. So let's try it with the original RAM again in that slot. Let's see. So far I've not had it working in this slot with either RAM strip. It just gives the continual like long bleeps, you know, like this. So far this slot hasn't worked at all. Yeah, it's off. But the other slot has worked with both of the original DIMMs. Okay. It may do this powering back on if you don't leave it off long enough, if you like. Doesn't seem too promising, does it? No bleeps at all. I've switched it off. Hold the power button in while the power supply is switched off at the mains. That should discharge any power that's still in it. Okay. I'll try my memory. Let me just try my RAM. So this is my known good RAM. Put one in there. Didn't come on by itself. See what this does. Yeah, one bleep. And I don't need to show you because you know full well when you get the one bleep I've got a picture, yeah? One bleep in a picture. CPU is running at 4 GHz, whichever CPU it is. Just notice that on the BIOS screen. Okay, just discharge that. So that's working in there. Same known good strip in the other slot. Okay. It didn't want to go in very easily. It's in now. Okay. Power on. Didn't start on its own. Power on. What's it do? Yeah, back to the long bleeping. So this slot has never worked with my RAM, with the two original ones. It doesn't work. This one has worked with at least 3 different strips now. Okay, let's get the heatsink off next. I've removed that. Another problem, the heatsink compound is completely dry. It's not sticky at all. Same on the CPU. So that needs to be changed. Just try to worst the dust off from around here. Let's have a look, see what sort of CPU we have here. What we got? What have we got? A bit of ISO. There we go. Yeah. That's an i3. For all that, it's an i3-7100. I'm sure I have some spare CPU that will work in this, just to eliminate the possibility the CPU's faulty. Because basically on these, if you look, you see all the tracks are going with the DDR4 as they're going under the CPU. So the CPU has the memory controller built into it. It's not going through the PCH to the RAM. So any problem in that communication is going to stop one channel from working. Well, it's fairly clean underneath, but I'd expect it to be. It's very difficult for any dirt to actually get under here. Okay. Just blow out any, make me cough. Blow out any dust. Seems to be a little bit of fluff in the CPU socket, which is now gone away. Probably down into my lungs. That's the way it is, yeah. So we can put this back in, and let's just see now if it works. I'm going to use my own heatsink just to rest on the CPU for a moment while we test it again. And if this doesn't help, it's definitely going in the sink. So this slot was working and this slot wasn't. Let's have a look. Okay, we're in there. I'll find my spare CPU cooler. A little bit of just cheap service or stuff will do the job just while we're testing. There you go. Just give it something, yeah. Give it something. Okay. Let's see if it actually works now. Monitor, power. That's all I need. That's all I need. Okay, power is on. Boot it up. Fan's a bit lazy, but it's going round. It's not going to get stupidly hot, stupidly fast. That's for sure. Ah, and now it bleeps once, yeah? It bleeps once, and I do have a screen, which I'll just show you, okay? So this looks like it was possibly a problem with the CPU socket. Let's try it with both channels of RAM. I mean, that's the first time it's worked in that one at all. I'll just check. Now the CPU is nice and cold. It's not going to be a problem. Let's try it with the dual channel. Yep. Gigabyte. Yeah, it's got 16 gig of RAM. I can sort of see there. It's just disappeared now. Ah, so I think we have a bit of a result with this one, guys. I've got it back together now. Both the original DIMMs are in there. Let's try it. Again, I have the monitor attached to on the VGA. Yeah, you heard the one bleep. And my other camera is frozen for some reason. You see the top of my head, yeah? Okay, so I'm sure you heard that boot up. So let's put the graphics card in and see if it is working with that now. Okay, I've connected to one of the other HDMI slots. I'm still getting no signal. Maybe it's still using the onboard graphics. Let's see. Plug this back in. I mean, I'm certainly getting one bleep like it knows there's a graphics card there. And I don't, or do I get? Yeah, no, I don't get a picture on the onboard. So It's like it's seeing this graphics card, it's just not giving it an image for some reason. Okay, another attempt. I just reseated the HDMI cable into the back of it, and now it is working using the graphics card, so that's good. I mean, we can just be sure, so I can just disconnect this now. Oh, that's interesting. No, it wasn't. I thought it was using it. That's interesting. So it seems like we have more than one problem with this, which is a bit strange, really. Normally, if you fix something, you expect it to have one fault. That is generally the case. Obviously, it would appear that is not always the case. So I've taken the graphics card off again. The BIOS is set to use PCIe as the primary display. Let's see if it's still working. I assume it is working reliably with the VGA. Yeah, one bleep, monitor on, BIOS screen on VGA. So let's try the same thing. Let's give the PCIe slot a clean and see if this graphics card will work. I've just brushed the dust out of it. I didn't use any ISO or anything. I just thought I'd try and brush the dust out of it. I honestly don't know which of the 3 HDMI slots it's using, so I'll just try the top one. Yeah, let's see again. Will it give us a picture on HDMI? I'll disconnect the VGA, which is very stiff actually on this. Okay, not having any of it. But it was persuaded of the error of its ways in the end, yeah. So, okay, power is on. Blue light comes on the monitor now, but it's saying HDMI, no signal. Ah, I forgot to connect the lead this time. That's not going to help. Okay. Put some power into there. And again, this time it just powered up. Sometimes it seems to do this, but it doesn't seem to stop it booting anymore. One bleep, blue light. Ah, okay. Let me see if I can get it to do that again. Oh, there you are. So it's like working. Whoops. It's like working, but a horrible, messy picture. I wonder if that's like video RAM or if it's something stupidly wrong with the graphics card. That's interesting. I mean, obviously the machine hasn't crashed. I'm in there, yeah. I'm in the BIOS. I'm in the BIOS. Let's save it. I don't think it changed anything. So the question is that a problem with the graphics card like the GPU or RAM? Or is that a problem with the HDMI? Yeah, we're back to that mess again, yeah. Let's try the other HDMI slots and see what it does with those ones. So let's see. So we'll try the good old trick first of repeatedly reinserting the HDMI to see whether it actually works. I'm still in the same slot, the one that was giving the messed up picture. What's it do now? One bleep. Okay, black screen. So now we're back to no signal again. So it's like there's some problem with HDMI slots, if you ask me. Let me see if I can clean them. To be honest, they don't look too bad, but the fact it's acting intermittently, as you've just seen, and the fact when I did work I got that picture with like a messy red background, does make me wonder if we've got some sort of problem with the connectors. I mean, we get a lot of corrosion and stuff here, so it's possible. I'll just try the same trick we tried on the RAM slots, which is putting the stiff brush in. I got the messy picture off this slot, by the way, where I did get a picture. I was using the top one. I could actually try using the DVI port. That might be interesting to see. Although I'm assuming because there's a cover over it, does that mean it doesn't actually work? In fact, they've got it blocked off, or is it just? I mean, why would they not want you to use it if it's on there? Yeah, if it works. Good question, isn't it? That's a good question. Okay, so we give that something of a clean. Let's try this, and now we'll try this time with all the different slots and see whether I can get a picture out of it on any of them. Because if there's a bad connection on one, you'd assume it is on one, yeah. Otherwise, there might be some problem with the HDMI interface on the GPU. Let's go with this one as well. I mean, the owner could use the display port. I have no idea. I don't have a monitor which has display port, so I can't really test it. Okay, let's give it a go again. Let's see what we get now. So I'm back in the top slot again. Power on, power it up. What does it do? Please check powered. But I do get a picture, yeah. Okay, so I forgot to put the power lead in again, but I did get a picture without any mess on it. Let's try this. This time it powered up on its own, which it sometimes seems to do, but as I say, that no longer stops it from working. One bleep. That looks better. That's more like it, yeah, that's more like it. So I think we can put this back together. You can see it yourself. Yeah. I think we can put this back together. Let's run some benchmark or something to see if it's actually working properly now. Okay guys, it's back together. Switch it on, yeah, it's switched on, ready to go. So we'll power it up. There's two hard drives on this. There's a physical hard drive, there's an SSD. I'm pretty sure the SSD is the boot drive. It would make sense. So you saw it come up HDMI there, on HDMI on the graphics card, and it's loaded into Windows. The only, not a problem really, but the thing is that you'll see in a minute the Windows actually has a password on it. I don't know what the password is, so I can't actually just go in and run any sort of benchmark. I mean, I could effectively put my own hard drive on and do so, but to be quite honest, I don't really have any reason to suspect that this is not working now. It powers up okay. I can ask the customer tomorrow morning just for the password, just to check. But I think we can declare this one a bit of a result and repairs. So a couple of different problems, but we got there. So hope you enjoyed that one, guys. I'll see you all soon on another Win Electronics repair video. Ciao for now, guys.